after their slow start to the season, especially on offense. In their first 3 games, they averaged just 20 points. Since then, they're scoring over 30 points per game. And now Patrick Mahomes will be getting more help with Rashee Rice returning from his suspension. Since 2023, Mahomes has a better QBR, higher completion percentage, and more yards per attempt targeting Rice than all other receivers. Are the Chiefs the team to beat in the National Football League? RC, Dan, quiet down because the queen has arrived. The one and only Mina Kimes is in the house. What's going on, Mina? You can answer that question. Are the Chiefs the team to beat in the NFL? What's going on?
Yeah, they are, Stephen A. They're the best team yet again, same as it ever was. And you hit it. It really starts with the offense. This is statistically a top 5 offense in the NFL now, despite the fact that they had a slow start to the season. But once again, they are on top. The quarterback is playing the best of any quarterback in football, once again. And they're doing all of this despite the fact that they don't even have their number 1 wide receiver yet. Rashee Rice returns this week. And for those who forgot, in the second half of his rookie season, he led all receivers league-wide in yards after the catch. So you're taking an offense that is already a top 5 unit, and then you're adding a number 1 receiver on top of that. I do have some small concerns about the pass rush, or not small, but legitimate concerns. But I have been encouraged as of late by the play of this young secondary, which, surprise, surprise, Steve Spagnuolo has done it again in coaching those guys up. This is, once again, the number 1 team. They are not perfect, but no perfect team exists in the NFL right now. It's a very flawed league, and I think their offense, to me, puts them on top.
A few years away. This ain't quite the year. Raiders fans, unfortunately, this rivalry that really hasn't been a rivalry in the Patrick Mahomes era, I still don't think it ain't going to be a rivalry this year.
I did my best to sell it, Jacqueline. I'm trying.
You know,
it's
a divisional game. Yeah,
These teams don't like each other, so that's why you tune in.
Maybe in a couple of years. They're a couple of years away from it being an official rivalry once again.
There are other storylines in this one.
Right. Yeah. So we kind of already touched on it with Rashee Rice, right? Because he's coming back off of that 6-game suspension here. And you kind of touched on it, Emily. There's momentum there with the Chiefs, which is a very dangerous thing when Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. They're sitting at 3-3, coming off of that really good win against Detroit. So, Mike, how much of a boost is this going to be for this offense, especially considering what we saw in that game against Detroit?
I think it's going to be huge. They've really been using Juju Smith-Schuster in that kind of role, and he is way less dynamic in terms of what he can do after the catch and just separating on his own. Because really, with what Xavier Worthy and Tyquan Thornton and Hollywood Brown have on the outside, there's so much space over the middle of the football field. And that's why, Juju's been kind of productive in that role. But if you have Rashee Rice with that kind of space, healthy now back, the guy we saw last year at the beginning of the season, he is going to feast on this Raiders team and just everyone they play, truly, because he is that level of wide receiver, and hopefully he's fully back healthy. I do think it's going to be a massive upgrade for the Chiefs team.
Without a doubt, Mike, and I love that you brought up the middle of the field because of the speed they have on the outside with Tyquan Thornton and also Xavier Worthy. It does open up the middle of the field. This won't only open it up for Rashee Rice, but it's going to open it up for Travis Kelce as well. Having those 2 guys together, making them interchangeable in the slot, I think that is something they've missed from a dynamic standpoint when you talk about a guy like Rashee Rice. Now, the biggest question is he's been away from football for 6 weeks. Like, how long is the acclimation period? Two, he is that guy that we saw, Mike, in the first 4 weeks that looked like he was a true wide receiver 1. That'll be something I watch. They'll probably have a pitch count on him and won't give him the full gambit this week versus the Raiders. But I'm looking forward to see how he adds his skill set into that Andy Reid offense, because he was playing out of this world the first couple of weeks, and he was on his way to being a Pro Bowl type player before the injury.
Yeah, coming off that ACL, how do you think that impacts his return here? I mean, he had a lot of time to rest.
He had a lot of time to rest, and he was there throughout, the offseason. And
Jaylon Moore's story with the Kansas City Chiefs is one of those that defines what this team is all about: resilience, readiness, and brotherhood. Less than 12 hours before kickoff against the Detroit Lions, chaos hit the Chiefs' locker room. Rookie left tackle Josh Simmons, the first-round pick everyone expected to anchor the line for years, was suddenly ruled questionable. No one knew why. It wasn't injury-related. It was a mystery, and it left Kansas City fans holding their breath. Protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side is one of the most sacred jobs in football, and now it was in the hands of a man who, until that moment, had been almost forgotten: Jaylon Moore. Signed quietly last March after his rookie contract with the 49ers expired, Moore came to Kansas City on a 2-year deal worth up to $21 million. He wasn't a flashy signing. He wasn't supposed to steal headlines. He was supposed to be depth, insurance, a safety net. But when his number was called, he delivered something far more valuable than anyone anticipated: stability, toughness, and absolute trust. Against Detroit, Moore didn't just hold the line, he owned it. He stepped into the biggest moment of his professional life and made sure that Patrick Mahomes barely felt the difference. His name wasn't mentioned once during the broadcast, and for an offensive lineman, that's the ultimate compliment. No sacks, no penalties, no panic, just execution. That's how you know a lineman did his job. And the best part? The Chiefs' offense kept rolling, dropping over 30 points for the third straight week, proving that this unit, even with last-minute changes, is firing on all cylinders again. Head coach Andy Reid, the architect of this dynasty, couldn't say enough good things about him. He's always ready, Reid said. He practices a third of every session because Coach Andy Heck rotates him in. He played well, and we have a lot of trust in him. Most of all, the guys around him have trust in him. That last part says everything. In football, trust is the foundation. If your quarterback, your coaches, and your teammates believe in you, you're no longer a backup, you're a cornerstone. Patrick Mahomes himself backed that up after the game. I know the work Jalen's put in. He's been a professional every single day. Wherever he's playing, left tackle, right tackle, guard, he's done his job and done it well. You see it now. He's a starting tackle in this league and can go out there and compete against anybody. That's not just praise. That's an endorsement from the best quarterback in football. When Patrick Mahomes calls you a starter, that means something. It means you've earned your place in the brotherhood that keeps this dynasty alive. Moore's professionalism, his preparation, his quiet dedication, they paid off in the biggest way possible. And that's what separates the Kansas City Chiefs from the rest of the league. This isn't just Mahomes and Kelce carrying the team on their backs. It's about the culture Andy Reid has built. Next man up, total accountability, relentless work ethic. When one soldier falls, another steps up without hesitation. When one door closes, another opens for someone who's been grinding in the shadows, waiting for their moment. Jalen Moore's performance proves that this roster is deeper, stronger, and more united than people realize. Heading into Week 7 against the Las Vegas Raiders, the Chiefs are once again in position to show why they remain the gold standard of the NFL. Even if Josh Simmons can't go, no one in the locker room is worried. The team trusts Jalen Moore to hold that line again, because he's earned it. He's turned from a forgotten free agent signing into a trusted protector, a name that deserves to be mentioned right alongside the other Warriors who keep Mahomes standing tall on Sundays. This is what the kingdom is all about, players rising when it matters most, proving that greatness in Kansas City isn't just about the stars. It's about the depth, the preparation, and the culture of belief that runs through every locker, every practice, and every snap. Jalen Moore reminded everyone that in this team, no one is forgotten. And that's exactly why the Chiefs will continue to dominate. What do you think, Chiefs Kingdom? Has Jalen Moore earned a permanent role protecting Mahomes? Should he get another start against the Raiders? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you believe in this offensive line, and make sure to subscribe to Chiefs Kingdom Report, because this dynasty isn't slowing down anytime soon.